Okay, so recovering from that little bit of a technical glitch, we have in the bottom right position our red Protoss player coming in for Western Wolves. It is Daisy. And spawning in the bottom, at the top left position as our blue Protoss player. Went for the Stargate early on, got a lot of damage done, but just couldn't hold off the frontal assault. It is White Raw.
And on today's stream, it did officially take 4 hours and 18 minutes until I read that I looked like Jack Black in the chat. I feel that's a good day.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think I've got the honorary Bill Murray award, which I got no complaints about that.
Jack Black and Bill Murray bringing you StarCraft 2 action, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what we do on our off days. Of course, we're going to see a little bit of downtime here at the start of the game as both players get their economies up and really get into a position where we can see differing strategies, mirror matchups, of course. Always pretty similar, I would say, at game start.
Yeah, definitely. Most players, we even saw earlier in our last match with Daisy, players going for, either going for the gas at 13 and then 16, or going for both at 15. It doesn't really affect the build enough to have any real significant weight. I preferred your analogy of like a 15 hatch versus 15 pool. It's not really different enough that it's going to give anyone a real actual edge, but cores are beginning for both players, and second gas geysers, so nothing unusual here yet, Jorisar.
Nope, nothing yet, but I would definitely count on one of these players to do something funky. White Ra, of course, unable to quite get the damage done that he did in that last game with that Oracle, but I do want to point out at the same time that White Ra must know he came so close to winning that game as well. It was by no means just a failed bit of sort of like a failed funky strategy from White Ra. He came this close to winning that game and didn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, and it's just those little things. Particularly what you said in game number 1 with the Oracle focusing down the Stalker over the probes, because White Ra was so busy managing his micro back at home that he wasn't able to target them down. But now we see White Ra, he's got a precariously placed pylon at the bottom of the map, Jorisar.
He does have a precariously placed pylon at the bottom of the map, Nathanius, and I think we could be seeing a little bit of special tactics coming forth as the Stargate goes down for our Ukrainian player.
Now, the probe is going to come in here for Daisy. He sees about as much as he expected to, but only 2 pylons. So Daisy, obviously with 3 in his own base, would realize, hey, you definitely need a 3rd pylon for something. But he is chrono boosting out that warp gate. He's trying to get it as fast as possible. White Raw, I'll have to see if he wants to go for a frontal assault with his stalkers and maybe a void ray, if it'll be another Oracle. But it could have an interesting dynamic with this Twilight Council coming up. What do you think we're going to get, Blink or DTs?
Well, the Mothership Core is already out on the field. And the number of stalkers out on the field for Daisy at the moment is already 3. So a Blink is definitely possible. I want to lean towards Blink right now, just because he does have that many stalkers out, but we'll have to wait and see. White Ra has started his first Oracle. That's going to be popping in towards Daisy's base very soon. And indeed, Daisy does start Blink.
Yeah, like you said, he had so many stalkers out already. Typically, if you're going to go DTs, you usually want to open with a sentry, so you can just get it a little bit faster, not invest as much in the stalkers. And, of course, you have defense in case your opponent does something like a 4-gate. But that Oracle is making its way across the sky. It is going to dive into that main base. White Raw actually has a probe here as well. He could try to go for a frontal assault at the same time, and now it's going to start to kill these probes.
Alright, so how much damage can this Oracle get done? Once again, actually getting on the wrong side of that Stalker. He's killed 4 workers so far in this game. Can he do any more damage? He's not stopping. A second Oracle is coming out as well for White Ra, so they might end up going back in at the same time. Continuing to chrono boost that Blink is Daisy right now. And boosting his own little collection of stalkers here out near the front of his base. He may use his Mothership Core to try and head out for an all-out attack, but White Ra has other ideas. He's coming in the front with those 2 oracles as well. He's going to head straight into the mineral line with those and say, hey mate, guess what? I'm going to start trying to pick off probes. But a great photon overcharge from Daisy prevents the oracles from getting through.
Yeah, really good reaction time from Daisy. In those situations where you're getting pushed up the front and getting harassed from the side, it's so easy to just, make one little misstep and you could just forget to do something like activate that photon overcharge, and then everything can go downhill. But pretty solid response for now. White-Raw transitioning into that robotics facility play. Of course, it's kind of a necessary step in PvP, being able to either scout with the Observer or get Immortals to stop mass Stalkers. And well, with that blink and a 4th gateway being added, we could be seeing that, Jorasar.
Exactly. I think things are about to get pretty serious for Daisy here. The 2 oracles from White-Raw are going to come in once again, and there aren't actually any Stalkers here, so he might end up doing substantial amounts of damage to Robotics Facility, pumping out at Observer, and the Stalkers are just moving further and further away. So this would be a nice time for White-Raw to try and come in and deal a lot of economic damage. We'll keep an eye on those oracles, and when they move in. Here they go.
Trying to do a bit of damage. Another Stalker was just warped in by the natural. These Oracles can kill a Stalker. Ooh, a nice blink to avoid the attack from the Oracles there. And he might be able to kill one of these Oracles off. He will. And the Oracle is going to try to deal a little more damage to the probe line. He's getting a lot done. But Daisy's pushing the front. White-Raw has a Nexus on the way. There's no way he's going to be able to hold this. The force fields are just going to be too much of a threat. He's going to have to cancel that. But the Immortal is done. If he goes up this ramp, he could get force fielded. But a great blink from Daisy. And this Oracle has got 14 kills.
White-Raw is doing a tremendous job right now. Up to 20 workers killed in this game so far. The Oracle finally running out of energy, and the number of probes left, guys, is 5 for Daisy versus 27 for White-Raw. He blinks up onto the high ground. There is an Immortal here. Is it going to be enough? If White-Raw holds this, he knows he's going to win the game. A second Immortal pops out as well. I think White-Raw's done it. Daisy down to 16 supply. White-Raw on 62, and we are going to see a game number 3.
It certainly looks so, Jorasar. There's just not enough here. There's a GG from Daisy and White-Raw, tying things up in this best of 3. A nice 1-1 score to bring us to an ace match. And I have to say, Jorasar, this has been that entertaining, as you said.